What's going on, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for joining us today on your Thanksgiving. You'll be shoving food in your face, hanging out with the family, watching movies, playing games, taking a walk, whatever you're doing, you're joining us today. And I'm hoping that we can give you guys some happy stuff. So we're thankful for you guys for watching here today. But other than that, it's Brett and I, and we might talk a lot of nonsense today. It might be a nonsense show. I feel like it could be. But nonetheless, we hope you want to see some nonsense. Then head on out to the show on December 2nd. Burbank, California, everybody. Stand-up comedy. Myself, Brett Sheridan, Kate Mulligan, Chris Carr, Roxy Stryer hosting, Winston A. Marshall, Coy Jandro. We're going to be there. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. You can get the tickets. Link is in the description. It's Flappers Comedy Club. Really excited. Wide shot of Brett Sheridan. All of this stuff and more. So, yeah. And then we were ready within this month. I was wondering if we were going to hit 100,000 this month. We're at 104, guys. And if you're brand new to the channel, you're stumbling across, if you're crossing the stumbles, and you're crossing
it's
it
about
up.
that time for Stumbly Claus to come to town.
Stumbly Claus is coming to town.
That's the drunk.
Yeah.
He's
the Walmart version.
Yeah.
I never made it to the North Pole.
Uncle Gary, Stumbly Claus.
It's like the scar of the Clauses. Anyway, hit that button, man. Get us to, we were trying to get to 200 faster than we got to 100. And we hope that you'll join us. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Let's get into this stuff. It's me. It's Brett Sheridan. It's the big thing. Let's do it. Happy, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Eating the gravy. I'll tell you what I do. Do you have a tradition that you do besides, the normal, what everybody does?
Yeah.
Do you have a tradition that you do on Thanksgiving?
We have... it's an all-day event. It's a Friendsgiving we've been having for years and years and years. But we have in the morning ham balls.
Oh, what's that?
It's like ham meatballs, but it's in like
in the morning.
A barbecue, and barbecue sauce and I think grape jelly and some pineapple.
It sounds
freaking
gross.
Amazing.
It sounds gross, but it's good.
It's very good.
Okay.
And then we have a frittata, which is like potatoes, eggs, sausage, all that.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
so good. So that's the tradition. Then we play board games and stuff.
I do the same. Well, my dad used to take me and my brothers to the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade every year.
Oh, nice.
So I couldn't obviously do that with the kids, but we watch it every year, and we eat salami and breadsticks. It's just a tradition that we've had. Yeah, my wife always underbuys when it comes to the salami. I said, I want you to overbuy like a disgusting amount of salami, like to where you don't think anybody could eat that much salami. And she's like, how much can one person eat? I go, my 12-year-old can put it away. It's in the little one now.
It's salami.
It's salami and breadsticks, and it's a treat. And we're watching with the bread. They'll be gone in seconds. And breadsticks are not easy to find in California. I'll tell you that.
Every time I'm eating salami, I think about
Germany?
Sopranos.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
And when he was eating all that stuff, and then he had to stop eating the gabagool.
Yeah, I know. I know it drives me nuts.
But like salami, I could kill a pack of it.
I love salami, but I stay away from it. But
in general,
but Thanksgiving, it's fair game. It's like Archie pissing on the.
Good old Arch.
Good old Arch.
We always had summer sausage, the Pepperidge Farm. We called it Yardo beef.
Okay.
Or donkey dick was the my mom.
Like
my mom wasn't too pleased, but she adapted it over
At least she didn't come up with it.
Yeah. Oh, looks like a donkey dick.
It's a donkey dick. Enjoy, boys.
My mom talks like a woman from the 30s.
An old gangster. Anyway.
Shay, when are you boys going out tonight? Getting some drinks? Looking for some dames? Magic Mind, baby.
Yeah, Magic Mind. You ready? Already. They got you quick.
Yeah.
Before we even start, I wanted to show Brett this. Brett, will you read this? Because I was very proud of myself. Sometimes, like we've been pretty good. We've been trying to be. I've listened to the audience because for a while now, it's like you got to pay attention to the positive comments more than you pay attention to the negative comments. Because it's also exhausting for the audience to continue to hear about it. And this wasn't even necessarily a negative comment, but it was just it was the comedian brain in me that I read something. I was like, I have to do it. So I want you. There's two things I want you to read. I'll put them up on the on the screen, but I want you to read both of these comments. And here is the first one. Read them out, and we'll talk to the. Here we go.
All right, there. Thank you for making
Go ahead.
huge.
Read his and then mine.
Nothing I have heard yet removes aliens from being angles. Most likely fallen angles.
To which I said,
like a square or a rectangle.
I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. And he didn't respond, obviously. But that was a nice one. And this one was a little bit obviously more of the not hateful stuff, but just annoying stuff. So then how about this?
Oh, get woke, go broke.
To which I said,
tell him, Steve Dave. Yes.
It's my favorite thing to do is they'll tell him Steve Dave.
I've found and I've admitted to you, I kind of have an Instagram addiction, and probably why I don't watch much television stuff.
Because you're looking at the filth, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at all the filth, and I go like, "Oh, this is a beautiful." Yeah, it's all twerk videos at this point.
The filth. I love that it's the filth.
There's all these faith in humanity restored, and then you go to the comments. I don't know why I do it because I'm like, that was really nice, and then people are like, fake.
Yeah.
Why do you film this?
I did see one similar to that though, where there is something to be said about really bad acting when it comes to some of these things. I couldn't even watch it because the acting was so bad. The message was nice, but there was something about there was the message. There was a guy on a plane who had Alzheimer's. Right, is what the video was, and it's supposed to be then the whole plane broke into song to cheer him up. And had it been real and had the acting been good, then I would have been like, oh, I had to bail because the acting was so bad. I mean, it was so bad. Like I saw some of the comments like, oh, tears. I'm like, every other comment though was this is like Saved by the Bell new class acting. It's like it was so bad I couldn't even watch the thing. It's like I don't mind when they put there's perfect example. I got duped by good acting in a video once, and I think when you go through the people's feed, you know that it's a bit. But the thing I sent you, I laughed. I think it was when my family was out of town, but I laughed so hard when I saw there was a video of it says an Uber driver. And there's a guy in the front seat, and he wakes up and he screams at the top of his lungs, and the Uber driver goes, "What the hell was that? Get out!" I thought it was hilarious, and I bought it. I bought it hook, line, and sinker. But these guys do tons of videos like this. They do tons of them. They have tons of Uber ones. They have tons of Ubers, and they fooled somebody the other day because they're really good at what they do. And this guy's like, "Hey, dude, you left your wallet on the thing, but it's gas prices are hard, so I'm taking a 20." And he
I thought that was a faith in humanity kind of a thing.
But it is fake. And because the guy was like because it was the same dudes. It was the same guy. This is what they do, but they do it in a way that I'm like, okay, if you dupe me but if you're bad acting, like anything else, I'm out.
I got fooled by you've seen the one with the guy with the sideburns, and he's on a talk show, and he's like, I don't drink anymore. I'll do a toot. If you got cocaine, I got to do a toot because it's just polite. But I don't freebase cocaine. I don't drink tequila. Last time I drank tequila, I beat up Sally really bad. And that's a sketch. It's an old sketch that this guy did.
And he got you. Yeah. The other one what was the one that got me? Oh, I just had it. The one that my favorite one ever. It got me the first time, and then you realize it because they've done a couple other ones, but it's hilarious. Is the world's fastest reader?
Oh yeah.
That guy kills me. He kills me. He's like, I'm the world's fastest reader, and he's like, what? He's like, he's like, okay, go ahead. And he goes, and he's like, what? And then chase him off the stage. But the guy's delivery is just like I said, even if it's fake, if it's funny and it's well written and it's well acted, you got me. I'm fine. But there are other ones like those faith and humanity videos where we've talked about it, where they're clearly they know they're going to get the views and they know that they're going to get people, so they get money to do this stuff. But they are also doing good things, right? Like they go up. I saw this one where this family couldn't afford. I don't know if it was. I can't remember what team it was, like a sport, whatever the team was.
Yeah.
And they were outside the stadium, so this guy gave this kid that was just kind of outside the stadium. They were doing some stuff, and he took him front row, met the team, did all this. It was nice. It was obviously you're doing that for the views as well, but I think that your heart's in the right place.
Well, and the money you're generating is you're using that money. Like that's right. Like Mr. Beast, he's taking the money that he's generating and he's putting a ton of it into giving it away to people. And a lot of this guy that takes the guys to Disneyland and or he took this woman shut down her food truck one day and he's like, really? You want to take
so. And speaking of Mr. Beast, I do think that because I forget how much he's worth right now, but I feel, because everyone always talks about like if Elon Musk wanted to, for like a few years, he could stop homelessness. The money that he's got, he could if he wanted to. And for how long, I don't know, but he has enough. That's how much the guy generates. I feel like Mr. Beast, if he had that kind of money, which who knows, eventually he might.
Yeah.
He would do something like that. So like you do kind of, there's a lot, and he gets in trouble for some of the stuff that he's done too. He did one thing where I forget what it was, but they'd kind of said that it was essentially torture if somebody because they made someone sit in a room or sit in a house. I can't remember what it was, but whatever it was something that
every so many hours you get more stuff,
something like that, and it's like, so you got to be careful with that kind of stuff because especially and not to diminish anybody's if anything did happen, but you got to be careful in today's climate because especially when you're super successful, people are going to be like, oh, that's the one. I can get him. And look at Matt Rife, right? Like I don't know the joke. I don't know if I've seen 0.5 of a second of his stand-up ever. I know he's very popular, but I don't think I've ever watched him. But I just saw there was some report that he said something or some joke in the audience, and then they tried to like cancel him for some joke that he made. I don't know what it was, but it's like I don't know I don't know the joke, to be honest with you. I don't know, but I just, when it comes to stand-up specials and everything too, you're allowed to be offended. Yeah. But it's just like you got to be, and I shouldn't say it without seeing the whole thing, but from what I've read, it didn't seem like he was doing anything except tell a joke. But I think it was because it was a domestic, like he said something along the lines. There was a woman sitting in the front row, and I think she had like I don't know if she had a black eye, and he made like kind of a joke about it, and the audience laughed over too, but people got mad that it was just because of the subject, and I get it. But I just, my stance when it comes to with comedians and everything too. Comedian George Carlin, anything can be funny, not anybody can make it funny, right? And it's like, so and on the same thread, you should be ready that if people didn't find it funny, that people couldn't have a problem with it. Trying to ruin someone's career over it is lame. But
yeah, I used to have a bit about, because when I first moved out here, it was like swingers and everybody's wearing wife beaters. And I said, wife beaters are cool. My grandpa's the coolest guy on the planet. Yeah. My grandpa never beat my grandma. I was just making it, but it is, you would think, that time, that era, there was a lot, I don't know if I could get away with that today. I don't know if,
See, but it goes back to exactly what I just said. You probably could. It depends on the audience. It always depends on the audience that's in the room that night. Now, it's not always going to transfer over when it's on television. Like obviously with like Matt Rife, I don't think it was he got shit for the people who were in the audience that night. I think he got shit for people who were watching on TV. So I've seen you tell a joke that you do a lot about the Christmas present.
Oh yeah, yeah.
99% of the time that joke goes over well. I saw it one time where the audience, like it was because of the particular audience that was there that night, and they did kind of treat you like an asshole for the joke. And the joke, if you know you and you understand kind of what the joke is, it's hilarious. But that was the only time I saw that joke where people was like, "Oh, wait a minute!" And it was also the delivery was a little different that night as well. But it's still. And it also shows not to, like, if you were on Netflix with that joke, how would that go over?
Yeah,
who knows? What I mean? Who knows? So it's like
and I'm not in the camp of like, oh, we can't do anything. You can do whatever you want. You just be ready to suffer the consequences, or maybe work it out in a way that you're not going to get a bunch of people with pitchforks burning down your house. But that's the problem. I think that people really don't realize that the comedian mind is you're usually around a bunch of friends or comedians, and it's always this one-upping and making things like you're always pushing boundaries. Yeah. Like if people heard what comedians' jokes are when they're not on stage, we'd all be canceled.
And that's not just
doesn't matter what nationality we are.
It's not just comedians. There's a lot of jokes, and people can lie about it and not lie about it. There's a lot of jokes that people tell whether you're around dinner or with friends or whatever it is too, that you crack a joke and you're like, oh, that one would have got me.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, people say that. I hear people say it all the time, and it's like, but
Polish jokes were in the
I know,
80s. Were like
that was the mother joke.
Yeah, right.
But it is a generational type thing too. Did you see what was it called? What's the Bill Burr movie? The Dad's movie?
I didn't.
Oh, you got to watch that movie.
Is it good?
It is same thing. Like the predictable people nailed it.
Yeah.
And then comedians, he goes all out. He goes all out and he doesn't give a shit.
I saw a clip of one where a mom said that he was late or something like that. You know, to pick up his kid.
You would love it. It's right up your alley. It's your sense of humor. The movie itself, the story and all that, it's generic. You've seen it, but the jokes, he goes after it.
Yeah.
And look, I love Sebastian. Sebastian Maniscalco was for a very. I performed with him. I didn't think his movie represented him. I think he's one of the best comedians. I think he's hilarious. I don't think his movie represented him. The one with De Niro, he was playing a very different character for his first big movie. He should have been waking up, looking at people like, what's this guy?
Yeah,
at the store. So maybe he's.
It's
Bill
like
Burr,
a studio got a hold of it and switched what's
kind
him.
of,
Yeah.
kind of. Bill Burr embraced I'm like, that's what Bill Burr. That's Bill Burr, and like the jokes he's telling, his types of jokes. Like I would have liked to seen. Sebastian does a couple of the big moments with De Niro and stuff, and obviously, if you can do a movie with De Niro, you do it. I understand, but it just didn't represent him in the same way that this movie represents Bill Burr's comedy, and so for that, I applauded it. I thought I was like, okay, good. He's going all out on it. It did very well. I mean, it did very, and then the other thing too, that what's funny about it is this is another reason why I love Bill Burr so much. Bill Burr. He really goes after everybody.
Yeah,
he goes after everybody because did you see the whole thing that happened with his wife?
No.
Oh, they were at a UFC fight, and
was she getting lippy? And he had to.
Oh no, Trump. Trump showed up.
Oh, nice.
And so behind him, she gives him the double finger, and it got on there. And I was like, that was an uncomfortable car ride because he's like, because now I got to hear about this.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
However, when he was on Rich Eisen. And the first thing he talked about, he's just like, he said how he thinks it's a bit. He went because he always owns like, oh, he's a far right. He's not a far right guy, and he's not a far left guy. He said because he was talking about he's gone after the left many different times, and then in this particular clip, he's like, it's like the hypocrisy of a lot of the Trump supporters will say, oh, you guys are all being snowflakes. You can't take anything. You can't let anybody tell jokes about anybody. Yeah. But the second you say anything about Trump, they come after you. He's like the hypocrisy there. And then they asked, they said, well, how's your wife's finger doing? And he's like, oh, it's great. He's like, my wife doesn't give a shit. He goes, look, my wife knows who she is. He's like, but I didn't know. He's like, look, I thought I was going to the fights. I didn't know I was going to the Republican National Convention. And that's what I love about him.
Well, and I guarantee he wasn't doing stuff like that. Like it's kind of this building up to where that he isn't the person necessarily. Like, well, I'm not. No, he kind of, because he's pointing out things. I don't know. I guess what you're saying, like with me, people know that I'm not a racist, misogynistic guy, and a lot of the times I do the jokes as the hillbilly guy that I grew up with. Yeah. So, but I think there's a way to do it. I think some people just say crass things right off, and they're not very well crafted.
You mask it in a facade that we know that it's not legitimate. What you're saying. I mean, there's if somebody stumbles upon this show the first time and they see that, they go, what was that joke that guy did? But then when you learn who you are, you're like, oh, okay, like the stuff with Roxy. Where's the burn mark? Where is it? Is it over there?
Yeah,
there it is. Did you cover it up on purpose so you didn't have to think about it?
My mom was like, wow. Like, I think that would even
I don't know if I've ever laughed as hard as I did. That was so funny. And God bless her. Because we've said in the past that Roxy has sometimes she'll just kind of stonewall or not stonewall but like have like a stone face when it comes to a joke, and she'll like when you said that she went with it, her face she laughed at it because she set you up for it, right? And she really really went with it, and I was like, she actually, when you watch back that clip, she makes that even funnier. Because you say it, and then she just kind of looks at the camera and goes like that. Like,
and then at what point she goes, "My slit?" You haven't seen mine.
Right. The way she said it was she delivered like strongly. Oh, I watched Always Lola.
Isn't that great?
It's look. So they send it to, and you always get nervous when your friends send you a movie or
it's the worst.
Yeah, it's not great. And not the movie. When people are sending you like these types of things, and then I had got an email from the director as well too, because they'd send me a screener, and he's a fan of the show. He watches, and he's like, I'm excited you're going to watch it, but I'm nervous. And what I wanted to write back, me too.
Yeah.
But I watched it, and I saw a lot of the kind of interviews of what they were going for, and you could tell that there is an absolute, like an homage to the Breakfast Club and the Big Chill and those types of things. You can feel that. I really enjoyed I thought Andrew Guy was fantastic. Andrew Guy was fantastic. And of course, Roxy, what I said was, for people who didn't know what the movie is, Roxy's a movie called Always Lola. And it's essentially this story, and it's in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything, but they go on this retreat, and Roxy's character is deceased. So they kind of go on this retreat to figure out all these things about her along the way, and I was worried at first. I hadn't seen a trailer. I hadn't seen anything.
Yeah.
So I start watching it, and I text Roxy. I'm like, "This is bullshit. You're dead within 5 minutes of this fucking movie."
I know, that's what in the theater I was like.
Yeah. And she's like, "Don't worry, just stick around, stick around." And it's really about getting. It's about mental health. It is. I think that they qualify it as a comedy. I would say definitely it's way more on the dramedy side as anything else to be, especially with the subject matter. And I'm glad, because it was the stuff that worked with the relationships with all of the cast, and how I thought the girl who played Roxy's sister was fantastic.
Yeah,
she
right?
was great. She had like a Allison Brie kind of feel to her. She was I really liked her a lot. I liked a lot and I guess, look, I'm criticizing the movie because that's what I do. And the only thing I didn't really love about it, I felt they were in a different movie, were the two bloggers.
Yeah,
they feel like they were in a different movie.
Yeah, that was mine too. It was they were a little over the top, but
Way
then it wasn't, it didn't take me out of it because the rest of it was so well. But yeah, that's the one
it
little.
Served a purpose.
Yeah, it did.
But I just thought that they were in that comedy.
Yeah,
they were in a comedy. Everybody else was in a dramedy.
Yeah,
and it didn't ruin the movie for me at all. But it was the only thing that I went like, Dad, let's get past these.
And
guys.
just if they would have dialed it back a little bit,
right?
It would have made it a little, because they could have been over, a little aggressive.
You could have made them real. They weren't real,
and you could have made them scary.
Yeah,
I mean, because they were
dicks.
Yeah,
they weren't real. And I think the reason why they did that, though, I understand why they did it, because if you make them too weird and creepy or dicks, it takes the lightheartedness out of it, because there's something that happens down the line with the group of friends that makes it a little bit more lighthearted. Yeah. So I get the choice behind it. I just, when they came on, I was like, I feel like I'm watching a different movie. But everything else, like from the setup of like each, and what they developed very well was the characters themselves. Each you knew who they were. You understood it. So like I enjoyed watching,
and you cared about them. That's my biggest my biggest thing is if I don't care about you, then I don't. There's something I saw recently where I was like, I don't care about any of these people. The subject I cared about, but you didn't hook me with the characters. And
I was never bored.
Yeah,
I was never bored.
Well, and I took Lonnie to it, and she doesn't bullshit.
No,
she was like, that was amazing. I'm so glad I went, because at first it was like, oh, I'm going to somebody's
of course,
film or whatever,
especially in LA. You go into LA and you're like, oh God, my
that
friend's
hot broad you do the show.
my friend's got a project. My friend's got a project. It's like, oh no, I gotta. And you got two friends. Because Andrew is just so natural. Andrew Guy is just so natural.
Is really good.
He's just such an. I mean, look, there's the cast in general is really, really good, but working with Andrew on Schmodown for as long as I did, his instincts are just so. They're just so natural. Yeah. And I was watching him, like he plays Roxy's boyfriend. And so when, I was curious on that dynamic and how that was going to play. And they all had a purpose. They all had reason. It was good. So I would suggest for you, especially to support Roxy, but in general, it's these smaller films that I think need your love. And I feel like it's on Amazon Prime. I'll have to ask Roxy when she's on the show. But
recently dropped somewhere. I saw a tweet.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I thought it was Prime. Maybe it was Apple. I'm not sure. But you guys just look at Always, Lola. It's the new movie with Roxy Schreier. And now it's a new movie now because it's going to be.
It's
streaming.
one of the first times in a long time that I haven't had to lie to a friend.
That was the thing.
That's what Kate and I went up and we were like, we don't have to lie to our friend.
When the director wrote me, I said to myself, if I don't like this thing, I'm just not going to talk about it on the show. And I liked it. And like I said, I got to be honest. I just those and I don't know. They might be good actors down the line, or they might be in a, if they're directed in a different thing. I just didn't love them. But I even told Roxy, I was like, these guys just feel like they're in a different movie. Everybody else, the other group of friends I felt was great. Check it out. Always Lola, definitely worth the watch. You should support Rox, and just check out a really good movie. Always Lola. All right, moving on. I'll tell you what. You want to play with my nuts? Nah, give me nuts.com. Nuts.com is the best. Nuts.com and Nutrafol. I'm going to tell you about both of them right now. This is the best. Nuts. Get off my nuts. Don't touch my nuts. I love these nuts. I love them. Listen, you ever been to a candy store? You ever been to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? Probably not the last one, but you can get something close. Check this out, nuts.com. Maybe you can't get to the chocolate factory, but I'll get you close enough. The online version of that is nuts.com. Besides just having a lot of great nuts, they have classic candies. They got butterscotch, they got fudge, and licorice. Cashews, almonds, pecans, pistachios, dried mango, crystallized ginger, dates, jelly beans, jawbreakers, root beer barrels. It goes on and on and on at nuts.com. I was so excited to have them come along. I mean, look at that. That's what I got. That's what I've been eating. That's what I've been chewing on. Yeah, and even that little fat pug that I love so much, he loves it too. Although he can't really eat nuts, but he loves smelling them. Nuts.com is your one-stop shop for freshly roasted nuts, dried fruits, sweets, pantry staples like specialty flours, and much more. They have a wide selection and means that there's something for everyone. At nuts.com, quality, top priority. They roast their nuts and they pop their corn the same day that it ships. They reach you deliciously fresh. Satisfaction is guaranteed, and I can be a testament. Right now, I'm snacking on these because I love these almonds. They're really good. And I know, not ideal when you're telling people about stuff to have food in your face, but I can't stand it to keep them away from me. They're right in front of my face. I have to eat nuts.com. So, again, stay away from my nuts. Get your own nuts. Nuts.com. So listen to this deal. Right now, Nuts.com is offering new customers a free gift with purchase and free shipping on orders for $29 or more at Nuts.com/bigthing. So if you check out all the delicious options at Nuts.com/bigthing, you're going to get a free gift and free shipping if you spend $29 or more. Nuts.com/bigthing. Yes, there are a lot more nuts jokes I could have made. Don't be embarrassed. Don't do it. Listen, did you know that 80% of men will experience hair thinning in their lifetime? It's normal, guys. But it doesn't have to be your fate. You can get ahead of thinning with Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements use physician-formulated, natural, science-backed ingredients. Their drug-free, patented technology provides consistent, reliable results without compromising your sexual health. Go to Nutrafol.com/men to take their hair wealth wellness quiz. Identify causes of your thinning hair, and Nutrafol will give you a personalized plan for better hair health through whole body wellness. It works. In a clinical study, 84% of men showed improvement in their hair after 6 months taking Nutrafol men's hair growth supplements. Everybody feels this way as you're getting older. You're like, oh man, am I the only one? Why is this happening to me? This and that. We're in an age now where you can get it helped. You can get it fixed. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men, but you have to enter that promo code BIGTHING. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men. Nutrafol.com/men and enter that code BIGTHING. That's Nutrafol.com/men, promo code BIGTHING. Nuts.com, baby. Nutrafol, both great sponsors. Very happy to have them. So I hope that you guys will check them out. You can support the show. Please, I always pin it in the top comment. Put it in the comments. So check it out, please. They're wonderful. Let's stay in the serious zone for a second. Who's got the shits?
Yeah. Shitting into Disneyland lines? Is that what
shitting into Disneyland lines? That's like Brett told me Yeah, this is some.
Blows my mind you haven't seen this yet.
I did see it somewhere. I did see this. There's people shitting in the lines at Disneyland.
People
right?
are wearing Depends undergarments. There are people that are going out of the line.
My dad told me this. My dad might have told me this.
There's and it's not just kids, but like there's a picture of with a mom and a son that just kind of stepped out of line. Dad was probably holding line or friends, and then the kid's shitting next to a fence. And the Disney employees even have like it's called a code H or something. H waste or something, human waste, and they have to clean it up,
dude.
Yeah.
And so wait, they just because they don't want to wait on the line, so they just take dumps on the lines.
Yeah.
What the hell? This is why when I do this UFO show, why I understand why the aliens have not shown up.
Exactly.
It's like
I will say though.
Wait. Even if you're with a family of like 3,
Yeah.
honey, hold the spot. I'm gonna take Dimitri to the shitter.
Yeah.
He's gonna poop. So am I. We'll be back soon because you got a little bit, and then you can go take a dump. If it's one person standing on the line, why are you by yourself anyway?
Yeah.
And it's like it's one of the worst things I've ever heard.
There are I think plenty of bad. I mean, Disney is a very clean place. I think there's a trash can every 10 feet or something,
Yeah.
and there's bathrooms, there's plenty. And that's the first thing I do is I scope out where all the bathrooms.
Scoop it out.
The bathrooms. What I do is I don't shit. I just scoop it out.
It's chucking on the walls.
Throw it in an old novelty cup that I bought
work,
for
yeah.
$20. It washes out. It still smells a little. Speaking of novelty cups,
I was just gonna say, how great is this thing?
I need to get this for my daughter.
So this was I got sent this from for Creed 3.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she is dropping her shit every day at school.
This.
Yeah. And if it does, it's just a boom.
Yeah. No, it's like
I love
grenade.
it. I love it.
So
Don't shit in the lines.
Don't shit in the line.
But I will say, I don't know. I do think there's something with the overselling of tickets to Disneyland. I don't know if profit wise it would kill them, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it was so much more fun when I was a kid, and I don't remember waiting so long. I feel like when I've taken my kids, it's just this like, did I just wait an hour and a half?
It does take a while for the lines, but I think that's always been that way. I do think they have the Fast Pass stuff now too.
They ruined the Fast Pass.
Why?
Well, the Fast Pass now you have to pay for.
Yeah.
Well, before you just would go, and we had the Fast Pass worked out. Like when we were in the height of it, we would go like at least once a year, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna run and get the Fast Pass for Indiana Jones. You go over to this and blah blah blah. And we worked it. I don't know how the online one does, but the fact that you're paying on top of paying, it's several $1,000s for 4 people to go to a place that they have to wait that much. Most of it is waiting. It's sad.
We're probably gonna do. It's finding it at the off time too, right? Probably going to go again in January.
I've got to. Well, yeah, you got to go because of last time, right? A fan.
Yes. So
I just remembered. I was like, oh wait, they reached out to me, and I never lined it up because it's one of these things. I have a massage certificate that I got 4 years ago. Still, just saving it for a rainy day.
Doesn't it expire?
No, California law. You can't. Gift certificates don't expire.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Look at that. All right, so all this, I need some energy, and then when I'm done with Disneyland, you know what I do? I have a glass of wine. Sit back, and I enjoy my glass of wine. Have you done the first leaf yet? No. You're an embarrassment to yourself. You get
I got
6 curated bottles for $44.
It's going to be a Christmas thing. I'm definitely going to get that for everybody.
I'm going to tell you both about AG1 and First Leaf right now. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I audibly cheered when I found out that First Leaf was coming on as a sponsor. I cheered. Why? Because I love wine. I love wine. Who doesn't love wine? I am a wine person. I've been really drinking a lot of Pinot Noirs lately, and they sent me them. They sent me one of those. They customize to what you like. Mark Riley's going to lose his mind, by the way, when he finds out that First Leaf is coming on. And they sent me, these are the ones that I got. Look at that. Clearly, the last one is empty. That's right when I got it. Anyway, First Leaf knew exactly what to send me because they gave me like a little quiz up top. And they said, what do you like? And I love them. They make it so easy to get personalized wine delivered. It's on my schedule. It's right to my door. I choose the day that my shipment comes. I'm never stressed about missing a delivery. And every selection is backed by First Leaf's 100% satisfaction guarantee. It is so good, so easy. I love it. It's great. And it's great being a member because you get to avoid the overwhelming feeling when I used to go into the aisles of the supermarkets or in the stores in general and go back and forth. And I was like, I don't know what to get. I'm not sure. I know I like this. I'm not sure if I think I like that. I like the taste of that. There had to be a better way. I got the better way. First Leaf. They match award-winning bottles to my taste, so I get just right wines in every shipment. It's wine exploration without the guesswork. If you can tell that I'm excited, you're right. I love it. Look at these. Look at the ones that I got so far. I mean, really, really good. I got I got some Pinot. I got some stuff from Australia. I got the different blends, and I'm telling you, I'm red. I like the red. My wife likes the white. So we made sure we got a couple different ones. Now with the membership, this is the one. This is the one I've been waiting for. I love this one. I love First Leaf. And you guys will too. Give your palate what it really wants with First Leaf. Go to tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing to sign up, and you're going to get your first 6 hand-curated bottles for just $44.95. tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing. Tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing. You will be thanking me. This is awesome. I always get excited when I get a chance to talk about AG1. You guys know, if you've been listening to this show long enough, you know that I've been talking about them. I've been drinking them now for, it's got to be at least 2 years. I started drinking AG1. I think Brett Sheridan told me about it. I said, you can't mess around with this, man. You got to try it. And I did. And it's a foundational nutritional supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. I've heard so many different people now talking about it since we've been talking about it on this show and how much AG1 has helped them. I talk to you guys, a lot of you guys, when we talk to do my one-on-one sessions that I do with people that go, yeah, I started doing AG1 and I love it. It gives me the energy that I need. Parents, I found new parents love this stuff. But everybody loves it. And not only for me did I replace my multivitamin with AG1 because I was never the multivitamin guy. I would try it, and I was like, everyone's telling me, you got to do multivitamins, and I can't do that many vitamins. 1 scoop. I put it in a water bottle. I put it in a zoo cup. I shake it up. I'm good to go. I recommended AG1 to everybody, my friends, my family, you guys, and it's worked out. It's great. I get energy. I get a pep in my step. I love AG1, and you guys know how long I've been talking about it. People still, they'll tweet, and they'll X, whatever they X me, and they say, hey, AG1, you've been talking about it forever. I'm trying it today, and they never go back. AG1 is the supplement that I trust to provide the support that my body needs daily, and that's why they've been a partner for a long time now. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. But you have to go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. Drinkag1.com/bigthing. Check it out. Look, man, Christmas is right around the corner, and I'm promising you that the First Leaf AG1, they are the way to go. You will thank me. And you also support the show. I tell you, I got somebody who wrote me the other day, and they said, hey, you guys do so much, and we love listening to you. And I said, we're just goofing around. I said, no, but is there anything we can do for Christmas presents? And I said, look at one of the sponsors.
Yeah.
Get something for yourself. Get something for yourself, and that helps out the show. That's a Christmas present. So if you guys are ever wanting to, any of those donations when you're doing the super chats and all that are great, but get something for yourself. And one of our wonderful sponsors today that can help out the show.
And yeah, don't get Dad a tie.
No.
Get him some wine.
Get him some wine.
Get him some AG1.
That's right. Okay. Although, before I even do that, I started watching that the Godzilla show. The one that's on Apple. What's it called? Monsters
Inc.
Monarchy. No, something like that. But it's
the Monsters Monarchy.
But Monsters Monarchy.
I actually did see that. Monsters Monarchy.
Yeah.
It's where it's of course it's a league of monsters, right. And they each have their own factions, and right. It's kind of like Game of Thrones with monsters,
right? But they have to vote for the king.
Yeah, and they're oh god, it's brutal.
Yeah, isn't there like a whole alphabet scene?
Oh, the alphabet scene is like the Red Wedding in
right.
Game of Thrones. It's just like, boom, this person's dead, this person's dead.
It's not in person.
And it's
donkey, right?
Martin. It's monsters. It's monsters.
It's a donkey monster.
Yeah.
It's a big donkey. But this one is the King Kong. It starts with King Kong with, from Skull Island, and then you got the Godzilla stuff. And it's Wyatt Russell playing a younger version of Kurt Russell. And then Kurt Russell's in it, obviously later on.
Wow.
I haven't seen Kurt Russell yet, but I started watching it. And to no one's surprise, my wife goes, I don't know if this is for me. And bailed on it. There's so many things to do. There's another movie. I guess I was being coy about it the other day, and I didn't mention what the name of the movie was, but I'm going to finish it. Everybody's telling me I got to watch that Emma Stone movie, the one that's the
with
Oscar
Nathan
one.
Fielder? No.
Is that the one? Maybe. Is that the one?
It's a comedy with the guy from Nathan For You. Did you ever end up watching that?
I don't know. It's got Willem Dafoe in it.
That I don't know.
I don't know, but it's like Edward Scissorhandsy. To be fair, and I said this on the show, I watched 4 minutes of it, and then again, my wife bailed on it, but it's super like artsy, and it's super like all these different the fisheye shots and it's like, okay, I could wind up really liking this movie, but the second you see it, you go, oh, this is an Oscar bait movie.
Listen, David Lynch.
Yeah, it's kind of. So I have to watch it. I'm gonna finish it. I started watching the Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore one. Wife watched 45 minutes of it. Said last night, you want to finish it? No. So I just got to find time to watch all this stuff.
Does she like crime type shows?
It's hit or miss, dude. I started watching The Killer with her. She bailed on that. She's like, it's hit or miss. She bails on everything.
The new Perry Mason with Matthew Rhys from The Americans.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I know, but you're talking to me.
Oh, I know.
I try everything.
I sent this to Roxy. I go, I actually have a suggestion, and she didn't get back to me. It's all right. She's fine.
Yeah,
it's I just I'll take it as a
loss. Well, you did say something about her.
But I said, hey, I got a suggestion for you, and I loved it. It's like old Hollywood, and there's like some real kind of twists of real stories about I didn't know, and Lonnie knows a lot more about Los Angeles history, but where Dodger Stadium.
Oh yeah.
The fact that they cleared out this neighborhood, this Hispanic neighborhood, and they just cleared it out to build it. There's bad fucking blood from that stadium being built, but then that's not just the whole thing, but it's there's a whole crime around that, and these kids commit this crime maybe, but they bring up some.
I'm sure it's great. It's like I said, it's hit or miss with my wife. It's hit or miss. There's that one, she actually wanted the Godzilla one. She was like, oh, I'll check that out, and she's like, I'm not in this mood. And I was trying to watch it because David Grush, the whistleblower, he was on Rogan. He did 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I'm watching on the couch, and my wife, oh, this guy. She sees Grush. I'm like, you don't know anything about him. She Grush, she calls him Grush. Ugh. And I'm like, oh, forget it. She's like, I don't want to watch this. I'm like, I didn't ask you to. I'm sitting here trying to enjoy for a second to watch this thing because I know everyone's gonna break my fucking balls.
You've got three bathrooms in your places. I do as well. Yeah. Do you ever find you're all bathrooms are open, I'm good to go. You go in one bathroom to take a dump, and somebody needs to get. Doesn't matter which one you use.
I lock it all the time, and I just say.
But it's always
yeah, but that's why I lock it.
Yeah,
because the little one will go, and if you hear her rumbling, my oldest will be, Dad, can you help me get this? And I'm like,
no.
If I didn't lock that door, you'd be traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be traumatized. And I locked the door. And my wife's like, why are you always locking the door? Because every 5 seconds, someone's trying to get in this fucking place. And I know it's cliche, but it's my sanctuary.
Yeah.
It's cliche. But
somebody always needs something when I'm shitting.
Always.
It's
it's the worst. And especially to where when I come in and I'm done, working for the day, and it's I don't have the only time I really have my time of peace is really from 7:45 into 10:30. That's it. That's all I got. The rest of it, I'm trying to move, doing all this stuff, and then trying to help when I come in. And sometimes you get a screening, sometimes you don't. But those. And last night, I just want to sit for a second. Then we're watching that, and the dog was being an asshole last night. The dog does this thing now. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I took him on this monster walk, and he usually craps out because of it. But last night, my wife will be on one part of the couch, and I'm sitting down, and then he just does this, staring at her. And he doesn't want her. He wants me. He wants me to play with him and go, but I'm tired at this point. I already take him on his walk, and he just starts staring at her, and he does this stupid thing where he hops on the couch and not puts his paws on the side, and it's like, dude, this is his name. Stop, just stop, and then you got to throw the stupid thing around, and then he lays down. He's just
Look at me.
Everybody last night was being an asshole. But anyway, so we didn't try to think there's any, so I have to finish those movies, and that's really it. It's really it. I think I had one other story out of the box office. Let's talk about the box office because you got a bunch of movies coming out this weekend. Bless you. Why did that happen? Napoleon is already beating Wish in box office previews, which is
obviously
interesting, right? Well, isn't that interesting though? Look, it just shows you. I think that there's a lot. I just don't think a lot of people are excited about Wish. I saw it though. Disney's latest animated movie, Wish, and Sony's Ridley Scott directed historical drama Napoleon. They both had previews last night ahead of their 5-day Thanksgiving holiday weekend release that began today. The result is that the Napoleon came out on top with 3 million in previews, beating Wish, which snagged 2.3. However, the family-friendly animated movie is expected to beat its rival by the end of Sunday. Wish is reportedly on track to make 35 million over the typical Friday to Sunday, and up to 45 to 50 over Wednesday, Sunday 5-day period. Napoleon, on the other, is projected to make 16 million over the regular weekend and 22 million over the extended holiday frame. Apple is the film's backer, but Sony is distributing it, a similar arrangement to Killers of the Flower Moon, which had Paramount as the distributor. Disney often dominates the Thanksgiving holiday, but Wish would mark a quiet opening, nowhere near the flop of last year's Strange World, which took 18 million in 5 days, and better than pandemic-impacted Encanto, which made 40.3 on its launch, but behind the likes of Coco, which was 71, and Ralph Breaks the Internet, which was 84.6. Reviews for both films are mixed, with Wish coming in at 47% and Napoleon at 65 on Rotten Tomatoes. So I saw both, and I kind of am in the zone of both. I think that for me, Napoleon is. I wanted it to be great. It's good, and there's things that nobody. I haven't seen anybody make this criticism except me, and that's that Napoleon has an American accent the whole time. Someone's like, "Well, he wasn't French." I was like, "But he wasn't from California."
Yeah.
And it didn't bother people. Then fine, you'd be okay. And it's a good performance. And someone else made another good point that would you rather had him have a bad French accent? No, because that would have been more distracting for sure. So that's a little bit of the thing. But there's definitely things missing. Like it jumps where that you can tell it. There's only so much story you can tell covering that amount of time, and you can feel it. It's epic, looks gorgeous. The battle scenes are as epic as you expect them to be, and Vanessa Kirby is so good. But it just, like I said, I wanted to come out going, "Oh man, that was like, boom! Like holy shit, you got to like the way I felt about Oppenheimer."
I was just gonna say, that kind of a historical type thing.
Yeah, when we walked out at Oppenheimer, we were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
I didn't get that for this one. I was like, I enjoyed watching it. I was like, it's good. Wish. It's so different as like a parent, man, because like if I was going just to like Ellis and I used to just review all the Disney movies and everything. And sometimes I would just go with him and see it, and we would review it for schmoes. And I see most of these things with my kids now, so I watch it differently. And I said this the other day, like I didn't do it out of the theater reaction because Vivi, my oldest, was like, "If you didn't like it, don't do one in front of me," because I really enjoyed it.
Oh,
so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Fine. And it wasn't that I didn't. It's like I thought the movie was. It was like, okay, it's a good Disney Plus movie.
Yeah.
It's like one of those. It's like you've seen it a million times over. The music was fine, but like I said in when I was talking about it the other day, what I loved about it was that my kids came home, threw on the soundtrack, started pretending they were the characters, dancing around the living room, and I was like, well, that's a win for me. It's a win. Like, did I love the movie? No. Do I understand that why it's probably tracking to make the money it's making? Yeah. And is it a movie that you have to rush out to see in the theater? No. But if there's something, that's the thing you don't get. Like, there's not a lot of movies I could take my 6-year-old to see.
No.
But if I wanted to go to the movies with my kids, I could take them to see Wish. That is why I think it's going. And I did take my youngest to see Strange World. She was it was a very forgetful movie.
Yeah.
It's not good. And she was it was her first movie she saw in the theater but she's just like she barely even remembers it. Never wanted to watch it ever again. But this movie they do want to watch again. So I think it'll have an audience when it hits streaming. But yeah, it's just Disney's having a rough year. They're just having a rough year, like in general. Like the Marvels ate it. This is gonna do okay.
Did Wish have a bunch of women in his? That one?
I don't even want to go down that road. No. No.
Yeah, and I will say, I know that our friend Brandon will point out. Yeah, we don't. I don't think you're saying it's for kids necessarily.
No.
Like animation is for everybody.
Yeah.
But I do think sometimes that they do skew. Did they skew too much and not there wasn't enough for you? Was it skewed too?
No, that wasn't it.
Okay.
It wasn't it at all. It was
young.
It wasn't. That wasn't. It just wasn't. It and it's about magic, so the pun intended. It just didn't have the magic.
Yeah,
it's like it was fine. The performance of Chris Pine, Ariana DeBose were good. Writing was okay. It's just like it's not like there's certain movies you see and you're just like, wow, like that. What an impact! I felt the characters. It's just they wanted to the Alan Tudyk character of the talking whatever it was. Is it I don't know. Is it a donkey or what? I don't know what the hell he is. He's a lamb. I don't know. He's a freaking animal and he starts talking right. I wanted him to be funnier because I like Alan Tudyk. Lines weren't that funny. The star was cute, but it was like it just wasn't. It was like, oh yeah, it's good. It's like a good little meal. That's it.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, and there's. I think the thing is, there's some really great animations out there, and you only pump them out. There's gonna be some dogs, but what was the last one you came out of and went like, oh man,
animation?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of the last. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on Disney Plus, and Encanto was pretty good.
Yeah, I loved Encanto.
It was really good. I really liked that movie a lot. Like again, that was another one that was playing in my house like forever. I thought that was, but that one that had what I'm talking about. That had a good emotional story. It had purpose for the main character. It had great songs. That one had the magic. Mm-hmm. So that's probably the last Disney one and there are other ones. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there were some.
I think I'm going back too far with like Up and Wall-E, and I mean,
that's Pixar stuff. There was another Pixar movie that just came. Oh, you didn't like it, but Elemental. Yeah. I liked Elemental. You didn't love it. But by the way, we have a first time watching for the two of us, which is just two filthy animals watching a kids movie and cracking the most inappropriate jokes throughout it. So look forward to that. But you don't show your kids that one because it's definitely not appropriate. All right, look, it's Thanksgiving. Go back to your families.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Why are you in the bathroom listening to this?
Because it's their sanctuary.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Thanks for Brett. Thanks for you guys. Appreciate you. Apple Podcast, Spotify. If you're brand new to the show, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. As I said, with Spotify, we're trying to climb up the charts. We've been doing good, doing just that. But if you can, follow us there or Apple Podcasts. It helps tremendously. Thank you so much. Come out and see us on December 2nd for the stand-up comedy show. Woo. For me and Brett, we'll see you next time. Bye.